The sun was dipping low, painting the hills of Willow Creek Ranch in shades of gold, when a voice shattered the evening calm. "Get off this land right now. My son deserves it more than you." The words, sharp and shrill, cut through the air like a blade. I froze, my hands still gritty from fixing a fence post, and turned to see a woman storming toward me, her heels kicking up dust on my gravel drive. Before I could respond, red and blue lights flashed in the distance, and 2 sheriff's cruisers rolled up. A deputy stepped out, his face all business, and said something that hit me like a punch to the gut. "Sir, we got a 911 call claiming you're squatting on this property. The caller says it belongs to her son. My name's Tom Grayson, a 63-year-old retired firefighter, widower, and proud owner of this 25-acre slice of heaven in Northern California. I built this ranch from nothing with my late wife, Sarah, using her life insurance after cancer stole her from me. It was her dream. Our Driamto lives somewhere quiet, surrounded by trees, a small VY neared, 3 horses, and 2 goats named Rusty and Pip. I'm a simple man. I plant wildflowers, bake a mean peach cobbler, and help neighbors with their chores. Trouble? That's not my style. But trouble, it seems, had found me. Her name was VY Holt, the loudest, most entitled member of the nearby HOA board. She strutted out of her gleaming white SUV, hands on hips, sunglasses perched like a tiara, and started yelling at the deputies. "My son, Ethan, works in tech. He needs this ranch for his mental health. This man's got no right to be here. The HOA voted him out." I nearly dropped my hammer. "Voted me out? Ma'am, I own this land. Paid in full. The deed's in my house." VY didn't flinch. "Pack up. Ethan's MOVYing in next week." One deputy shifted, clearly uncomfortable. "Ma'am, that's not how property law works." She snapped back. "He's old, probably trespassing. Get him out." I looked her dead in the eye and said, "I built this ranch from scratch. It's mine." That shut her up for a second, but her glare told me this was far from over. As the deputies asked for my ID and proof of ownership, my gut churned. This wasn't about rules. This was personal. Let me take you back. 5 years ago, a real estate group built a cluster of fancy homes down the road, and with them came the HOA. My ranch, well outside their jurisdiction, was supposed to be safe. But VY, who'd moved into one of those mansions with her 30-something son, Ethan, didn't care about boundaries. Ethan was a tech bro, always in loafers and linen shirts, sneering like he was too big for this town. VY, though, took entitlement to a whole new level. The first time I met her, I was at the local store in my muddy boots. She glanced at me and muttered, "Why do they let people like him live here?" I should have seen the storm coming. It started with letters laminated, color-coded nonsense about my unsightly fence or the offensive smell of my barn, half a mile from her house. Then came a complaint about my wooden welcome sign, claiming it ruined her morning walks. I ignored them all, but when VY realized her HOA couldn't touch me, she got bolder. One day, I caught her parked near my mailbox, snapping photos of my land like she was building a case. "Can I help you?" I asked, trying to keep the peace. She didn't look up, just documenting. "I have plans for this place." My stomach twisted. "I own this land," I said. She smirked. "Not for long." 2 weeks later, the sheriff showed up, all because VY called 911, claiming I was a squatter. The deputies found me planting carrots, not exactly the wild trespasser she described. I showed them my deed, and they left, but VY wasn't done. She marched toward my barn, yelling about her senator friends and how Ethan needed my ranch to reset his soul. I was stunned. I'd faced fires, floods, and car wrecks, but nothing like a woman screaming on my property because her grown son wanted what was mine. The next morning, I found a manila envelope in my mailbox. Inside was an EVY tie-in notice, my name printed neatly, with a forged signature claiming I'd sold the ranch to Ethan. My hand shook. This wasn't petty, it was criminal. I called my old friend, Jack Torres, a retired detective who now worked as a private investigator. "That's felony-level forgery," Jack said. "Don't touch that letter. I'm coming over." He arrived, snapped photos of the document, and pointed out a fake notary stamp. Someone's going down for this, he said. We set up security cameras and started documenting every move VY and Ethan made. Things got darker. One night, my gate camera caught Ethan standing outside, grinning like he owned the place. Just checking out my new property, he said. Gonna put a Tesla charger by your roses and turn the barn into a smart office. My fists clenched. This land's not for sale, I told him. He shrugged. Lawyers will sort it out. Then he snapped photos of my house and walked off. A few days later, 3 HOA board members showed up, claiming VY and said I'd agreed to donate my land for a community wellness retreat. I showed them the forged notice and told them Jack was involved. They looked shaken. She said you mailed it yourself. One stammered. I shook my head. She lied. Then came the zoning scam. A letter from the county said someone effing had requested my land be repurposed for public access under an HOA wellness grant. I drove to the county office with Jack and my deed. The clerk, a sharp guy named Greg, flagged it for fraud. This wasn't signed in person, he said. Smells like trouble. That night, deputies knocked on my door, saying they'd gotten a call about elder abuse on my property, claiming I was being held hostage by squatters. I stepped outside and saw VY and Wa VYing from my driveway like she was at a picnic. Did she say I'm a VY Tim? I asked. The deputy nodded. I showed them my tidy home, my fireman's badge, and even my fridge to prove I wasn't in distress. They left, embarrassed, but VY just sipped from her thermos, smirking. The next morning, I woke to chainsaws tearing through my VY neared. 3 men in neon vests were cutting my fence, a truck behind them with a sign reading, Ethan Holt Eco Retreat. I shouted, "Get off my land!" They froze. Some lady named VY hired us, one said, handing me a fake work order with my forged signature. I recorded everything, and they left, mumbling apologies. Jack arrived, furious. She's getting sloppy, he said. These forgeries all match. We're building a case. I wasn't just fighting for my land now, I was fighting for Sarah's dream, for the peace we'd built. I hired a lawyer, Ellen Carter, who'd handled land disputes before. She flipped through my EVY Denke binder and nodded. VY ends creating a false paper trail to trick the county. We'll file a cease and desist and a fraud report. She could face felony charges. I reinforced my fence, added cameras, and installed motion sensors. Then, 2 HOA members, Claire and Ted, showed up looking guilty. We didn't know about the forgeries, Claire said. VY lied to us. Ted added, she's been suspended from some duties. It was a small win, but I knew VY wouldn't quit. Sure enough, a week later, a man in a suit served me a lawsuit. VY and Ethan claimed I'd breached a contract and owed them due law $450,000 plus my land for their wellness project. The court date was 10 days away. My heart raced, but then I saw Ida drone hovering over my barn, its red light blinking. I threw a rock, and it zipped off. Ellen was Lee VYD. That's a privacy violation, she said. Jack installed a drone jammer, and that night, we caught the thing when it crashed in my driveway. The memory card was gold. Footage of me working, VY's voice saying, make him look aggressive. Ethan's anxious, we can use that. And Ethan sneering, push him till he cracks. Ellen grinned. This is harassment, trespassing, and witness tampering. We got her. 3 days before court, the HOA president, Harold Vance, VY cited. Over sweet tea, he apologized. VY lied to the board. She's been suspended indefinitely. He handed me a letter confirming it. But the next morning, I found a burn mark in my driveway and get out old man spray painted on my barn. Jack found tire tracks leading to the woods. Ethan, he muttered. VY's watched, but he's unhinged. The night before court, I got a knock. It wasn't Jack or Ellen, it was Ethan, holding a revolver. My blood ran cold. I'm not going to use it, he said, voice shaky, unless you make me. You've ruined everything. Mom said you'd sign the land over. I made deals, sank money into this. I stayed calm. This land's not yours, Ethan. You're committing a felony right now. Put the gun down. You're not your mom. His eyes welled up. She said I'd be nothing if this failed. Slowly, he lowered the gun, set it on the porch rail, and walked away. I locked in my safe and called the sheriff. They took the gun and Ethan's confession. Court day was electric. Vivine strode in, all confidence, Ethan trailing behind, avoiding my gaze. Ellen laid out everything. The forged notice, drone footage, zoning fraud, and Ethan's gun incident. When we played Vivine's voice plotting to frame me, the judge's face hardened. The sheriff brought in the revolver, and Ethan's confession sealed it. The judge ruled. All claims against Mr. Grayson are dismissed. Criminal charges may follow for forgery, harassment, and intimidation. A restraining order is issued against Vivine and Ethan Holt. As we left, deputies cuffed Vivine, her screams echoing. That land was ours. Ethan just stood there, pale. Vivine was convicted of forgery, trespassing, and fraud, 3 years probation, for 100 hours of community service and a psych evaluation. She lost her home, her HOA seat, and her power. Ethan vanished, maybe to Portland, maybe further. My ranch was safe, but I wasn't done. I mailed Ethan a letter. If you want to grow something honest, my door's open. No lies, no drones. Kindness isn't weakness, it's strength. Peace returned, but it was sharper now, like a blade honed by battle. My neared healed, the fence stood stronger, and Rusty and Pip still nudged my knees. Then, one October morning, I found a blue envelope on my gate. Sorry, it read. I was wrong. You showed strength without cruelty. I'm trying to be better. No name, but I knew it was Ethan. That same week, a local news outlet aired my story. It went viral, inspiring folks to fight HOA bullies. I got emails, gift baskets, even hate mail from Vivine's allies. But Jack traced those to her cousin and shut them down. By spring, the ranch bloomed brighter than ever. Ethan showed up, not in a suit, but in work gloves, carrying grape seeds. We planted tomatoes, staked Vivine nests, and rebuilt the compost system. He didn't mention Vivine, but one day, over sweet tea, he said, she never apologized. I don't want to be like that. I nodded. You're building something real now. The ranch became a haven. Kids learned science here. Gardeners used the greenhouse, and veterans found peace under Sarah's cedar tree. Ellen and Jack joined me for barbecues, and Ethan brought cupcakes, half-burned but heartfelt. One Sunday, I sat by Sarah's grave with sunflowers and tea. We kept it, babe, I whispered. Ethan drove up, apologized in person, and handed me grape seeds. Next spring, I'll teach you Vivine nests, I said. He smelled a real one. As I walked back, I saw the new sign on my fence, Willow Creek Ranch, home of resilience, kindness, and one stubborn old man. Not now, not ever, part of any HOA. So, where are you reading from? What would you do if someone tried to steal your home with lies and a 911 call? Would you fight quietly or expose them to the world? Should Ethan get a second chance, or did he cross a line with that gun? Drop your thoughts below. Hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories of grit and heart. Let's talk what's worth fighting for in your world.